Why you wear that stupid bunny suit?
Why are you wearing that stupid man suit?
Welcome to the dark side of reality. Today we're talking about your clothing, and by clothing I don't mean the piece of fabric you wear on your body. I mean your biological body. In other words, many people identify their existence with their body, which is a big mistake. Now you will hear something that will be shocking to you if you hear it for the first time. You are not your body. Your body is a biological vehicle that serves only to transport your consciousness. This body may consist of different accessories. If you ask anyone the question, "Who are you?" rarely will they have an answer to that question. They will often give you an answer such as "I am James" or "Mark." In 99% of cases, you will get an answer to the question "Who are you?" as the person's name. But are you your name? Of course not. Your name is assigned to your biological body. Imagine a car factory where, in the early stages of production, you have a bare chassis as the starting product. Your body, at birth, is a bare biological chassis that needs additional equipment for normal or higher functions. Just like a bare car chassis requires ultrasonics or additional components for normal functioning, which ultimately looks like a finished product and functions in the same way. Your biological chassis, which you call your body, is the basis for distinguishing your biological body, and you even have your own serial number. Some programs are the foundation and basis for learning how to eat properly, or a language that will teach you to start basic communication. Which brings us to the first software that is pushed into your body. That software depends on the environment you live in, and through that software you will learn the customs of your environment, where you will adopt the characteristics of other biological bodies that move around you. My name is Kevin, and I was born only in New York. I'm an electrician and I'm Orthodox. But I have a friend named Ryan who's Catholic, and that friend drives a truck, for example. No, you're not Kevin, and neither is your friend Ryan. Those are names assigned to your biological body, which is equipped with extras like education and religion. The only reason you're Orthodox is because you were born in a predominantly Orthodox area, like Ryan was born in a predominantly Catholic area. If Kevin and Ryan were born in India, there is a high probability that they would be Hindus. Your body at birth represents the programming basis for future upgrades. Some processes take place automatically, such as breathing, heart work, and we cannot influence these basic biological processes, or we can only minimally. Everything else, remember this well, is additional programs that are inserted into you, and programs that you thought represented you personally. So if you're not Kevin or Ryan, and to be completely politically correct, who are you when you reject all the programming that's been instilled in you since childhood? Programming that's just been extras since the moment you opened your eyes and cried for the first time. What remains? Who are you? The fact is that you are left with very little, if anything, which can be terribly sad for some people. But this is the first step for many people who encounter this kind of information for the first time in their life. And this knowledge is just the beginning of their journey and learning how to overcome their own programming. It is about consciously managing your programs. So the correct answer to the initial question of who you are would be, I am a human being. While other details such as your name, place of birth, job, religion, and the like are just a list of their unconsciously acquired programs. You should have no doubt that your body is just a simple biological machine that spends most of its time automatically, and most people spend their entire lives executing automatic programs. The first step in change is to break this illusion and accept this realization. If you're watching this video for the first time in your life and come across this kind of information, and you think you've never thought about something like this before, congratulations, this is the first step that can potentially change your whole life for the better. Today, I don't want to go into the deeper philosophy behind your humanity, but we will go through the basics, which represent that biological machine you call your own body. To begin our journey on the dark side of reality channel, I'm going to tell you what your body is not. Your body is only an illusion. That is, the average human body consists of more than 30 trillion human cells. It is an interesting fact that at the same time your body contains more than 40 trillion bacterial cells. As you watch this video, your body contains more bacterial cells than human cells. Yet you still call your body human, even though most of the cells in your body are not human. Each of these cells, whether bacterial or human, is a living being that functions together with you, and your body is not a single organism, but a community of different organisms that would not survive if these non-human bacterial cells were removed from your body. The amount of these bacteria in your body varies from person to person and depends on their total weight, and some people have several kilograms of these bacteria in their body. It may sound disgusting to some of you, but it is your biological body, and it is important to know what it is made of in order to live on this planet. And now, pay attention to this mystery. Would you ever buy a book or magazine in which more than 98% of the text consists of random letters and seemingly meaningless nonsense that you wouldn't be able to read? Of course not. But what if someone told you that the building blocks of your biological body are made up of instructions for proteins that build your body, which is not that strange except for the fact that less than 2% of our DNA contains the codes for your genetic program. The instructions for only 1.5% of your body's construction are found in your gene program, while the remaining 98.5% is called junk. In other words, scientists are not sure what the remaining DNA is for, even though it is figuratively called junk. Of course, it's not really junk, but represents a huge mysterious database in your biological body. Imagine a modern large building with 1,000,001 parts that is built, and you stand in front of it as a construction worker and a medieval stonemason who knows only how to build with stone. Would this craftsman stand in awe and wonder how this magnificent building was constructed and what miraculous materials were used that he had never seen before? We can transfer this comparison to modern science, which is still trying to discover how your biological body was built. We have learned a lot, but there is still much to be explained. Which leads us to another fascinating fact about your body, and that is that every cell in your body is, on average, 7 years old. This means we are talking about the average. For example, a red blood cell has a lifespan of approximately 4 months, a white blood cell for a year, skin cells for 2 to 3 weeks, while cells in your gut only last 3 days. On the other hand, some cells are with you from birth and will be with you until your death, such as brain cells. When you calculate the average lifespan of all of these cells, you get a calculation of approximately 7 years. Your cells are created and live in peace in cycles that can last for years, and this process slows down and stops for various reasons, leading to the death of cells and, ultimately, the complete cessation of your biological body, which we know as death. Before the final act, some very interesting things happen. If we average most of the cells in your body and their cycle, technically speaking, every 7 years you have a completely new human body. Of course, this change doesn't happen all at once, and think of your body as a ship that goes for constant repairs every 7 years. Roughly speaking, sometimes physically you are literally not the same person. To make matters even more interesting, that body is occasionally not the same throughout its life cycle, which leads us to some very interesting discoveries. If your body is not you, why do you carry unchanged habits, even from childhood? Why do you have bad habits that you can't get rid of? Why do you carry those childhood traumas that shaped you as a person? These traumas happened years ago. Why are they still affecting you? You may be sure of your life, but if you were the one who said, "Oh, let him go. He's been like that for 20 years since his wife died. He's never gotten over it," or "the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. His son also became an alcoholic because his father was an alcoholic." You know what I'm talking about. On the other hand, there are obvious examples of people who were heavily exposed to negative programming, but managed to rise above their automaticity and break away from the influence of their environment. What was different about these people? After a certain number of years of cell changes, you are literally no longer the same physical person, your body. So why carry, and why is your body still affected by your past traumas or habits? And don't be fooled. There is a program that can be positive, but most people just let the flow of life go by, living in complete illusion. Maybe some of you have heard the saying, most people spend their lives planning their lives. Have you ever thought about how to rise above your own programs, become aware of your programming and become your own programmer? Or worst case, do you want to learn to ignore the negative agendas and focus on the positive ones so you can talk about such things? It would be good if we were to talk about the basics today, fundamental truths that every person must know. You are not your body. When you hit yourself, your body feels pain. It is cold when the wind blows, but it is important to understand that you are not your body. Your body is just a physical tool, a means of transportation with a limited lifespan. The real question is, who are you in that body? Most people are passengers on autopilot in their bodies, but there are those who have managed to turn off the autopilot and become true masters of their biological department. These people are rare, but they exist. Thanks to them and their ideas and the beginnings of our civilization, you had the opportunity to listen to the basics of psychology behind perhaps the greatest phenomenon in human life. Until the next episode, you are on the dark side of reality channel, a place in the middle, between light and shadow, between science and its knowledge, a channel that offers more, and we can call it the Twilight Zone.